a parent is the greatest joy in the world. But is that all a lie? Since the 80s, a number of studies have suggested having kids actually makes you unhappy. And the more rugrats you've got, the less happy you might be. Most parents will say they love it, and no question they do. But behind those happy holiday snaps, many are struggling. It's physically, emotionally and financially draining, and one of the top reasons for relationship rows. So could the key to happiness be not having kids? That can't be right. Who's going to help me update my phone? Maybe it's time we find out what's really going on.
Well, joining us now is parenting expert and author of the book, The Parenting Revolution, Dr. Justin Coulson. Justin, why is being a parent linked to unhappiness?
Well, Kano, you've got a little girl. What is she, nearly 2 years old?
Yes.
I wonder if you can list all the reasons that you might have been more unhappy in the last 2 years than you were prior to her birth. Like, are you a little more tired?
Oh, just lack of sleep.
And how often do you get to go out for brunch and have those late nights? And like you can't party like you used to. Life changes so much, whether it's mastitis and labour pains, or whether it's finding out that your child has got dyslexia or a diagnosis like ADHD or autism, or is getting bullied at school. And that's not to say that we don't love them, and not to say that they don't bring meaning and joy into our lives. But oh boy, it is tough to be a parent.
Yeah, I wonder if we should even be talking about this, because I don't even want my kids thinking they were a burden. Maybe it's just one of those truths we should just bury and keep hidden.
Sometimes I think the same thing, but just you used the word burden, and it reminded me, the Buddha, upon having his first child, named that child Burden and then left home to go and live the enlightened life. So, I don't know, there's something in that too, I reckon.
Not all men.
So maybe you're not technically happier as a parent, but there are other positive changes that come with that, right?
We find more, I'm going to say, enrichment in our lives. There's this beautiful definition of joy that I heard recently, and I think that it fits parenting so well, and that is joy is the ability to see beauty. And when you become a parent, your ability to see beauty, I think, is enhanced in wonderful ways if you are attentive to it. And that kind of ties in with that whole meaning and purpose thing. The highs, oh my goodness, they're high. I mean, the lows, there's plenty of them as well, but there's so much beauty in parenting.
Justin, how many years into parenting do parents typically find the most miserable? I'm just wondering if I'm out of the trenches or if I'm still heading into them.
This is a horrible question for me to answer because, what you'll find is that downward slope continues until your children get to about 16, and then it hits rock bottom at about 16, just plummets, and it stays there until they move out of home. And all of a sudden, we find adults who are happy again. I don't know what the deal with that is.
Is there anything that we can do to wrestle with this happiness balance? Are there things that we can try to improve life a little bit?
This, to me, is the ultimate question. This is why I went back to university for 8.5 years and got a PhD, and this is why I do what I do now, Kano. And we've got to spend time in connection, real, true connection. I define connection as feeling seen, heard, and valued. And if we can help our kids feel that, we will feel that ourselves, and we will find more beauty and more joy. And the last thing, we forget about the wrestles on the floor or on the bed or ripping dad's socks off while he's trying to go to sleep. We forget about how to have fun with our kids, and that's really where the joy is.
Well, Justin, you've made us a little bit happier. Thanks for your time.
Great to be with you.
Kia ora, welcome along to the project, everyone. Look, Clint Randall's here tonight. Welcome, Clint. And I hope everyone found that interview reassuring. I think there's two types of happiness, right? And maybe as a parent, it's not always type 1 happiness where you're smiling and laughing and saying everything's great. It's type 2 happiness where it's kind of like running a marathon. Do you enjoy running the marathon? No. Are you pleased you did it when you get to the finish line? Yes. So I think that's parenting for me.
But then would you ever do it again? No. And you've done it 4 times.
I signed up to 4 marathons at the start. Now I really regret it.
I think there's too much focus on happiness. It's not why we're here. We're here to continue the species.
Yeah.
So just harden up.
Yeah.
Get on with it.
The book.
Oh, yeah. Do you want to have a read of that? You can. It's called The Parenting Revolution, A Guide to Raising Resilient Kids. I didn't even need to hold up my one. There's a fancy one on the screen there.